I love me some good food. Bacon.
I like waking up to the smell of bacon. Sue me.
Hey, this is so scrumptious. Will you stop that, please?
What up, Jay Sarah? This is Mr. T. Today I want to talk to you really quickly about the theology and the beauty of food. It's kind of a weird, obscure form of thinking about God and thinking about what we can learn about God, but there is a beauty and a sacredness to the idea of food, to enjoying food, and particularly when you're eating food with other people. At the moment, my roommates are inside because I'm making this video. During this quarantine, we've been eating all of our meals together, and there's something really beautiful and sacred about that. Mr. Monette and I have sat down to different breakfasts and lunches together, and when we have a really good sandwich, we like bite into that sandwich just like, I know that God is real because this sandwich is so good. When you look around at the world and all the wonderful things that God has given us, He has given us spices, He's given us a multitude of different kinds of food. We got bacon, we got toast and bread, we got eggs and cheese and verde sauce and sausage, and some ice cold coffee on a very hot day. So, one of the things I've been learning through this quarantine is our amount of control is even less than we thought we had before. And I think one way, especially for some of you out there that are not going out, is to really find ways to make this quarantine new or extraordinary, or just finding new ways of experiencing beauty in God's goodness. And I think one of the ways that you can harness that is through food. The gospel yesterday was all about the disciples going on the road to Emmaus, and they started talking with what we find out later is Jesus along the road. And they talked to him for hours, and Jesus talking about the scriptures and indulging in all these different things, but there was one thing that allowed them to recognize who he was. And it wasn't until they sat down and broke bread. And of course that bread, which they were partaking of, was the Eucharist. It's through that meal and that communion and through food that God chooses to reveal himself in its most real way. The hardest part of this quarantine, I think, is for us to not be able to receive the Eucharist. Finding new ways to spice up your spiritual life. I know that myself, it's difficult because part of what the Eucharist does for me, not only spiritually, I think it brings me peace, it keeps me calm, to encourage me to live a virtuous life. I want to receive the Eucharist in a worthy manner. Now that I don't get to receive in that and partake in that regularly, I almost find myself becoming lazy and lackluster. And so it's a great opportunity for us to read this gospel and to really appreciate what we have in Jesus and the Eucharist, and particularly what God communicates to us through a good meal, through people we share meals with, and making sure that that meal tastes good. So Jay Sarah, my encouragement for you is to take this opportunity to learn how to make great food, make food for each other, and be present to those among you, and allow us to really never take the Eucharist for granted ever again, once this quarantine is over. Do well and eat well.